Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest as usual. We are going to start with manager Xavi's message to Barcelona players after that disappointing draw yesterday night. Of course, emphasizing on the players after the game that let's go for La Liga. We are going to be discussing on everything he had to say as we progress. Then secondly, we are going to be looking critically inside Barcelona's financial mess, that is, how the Champions League exit could complicate matters for our team. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, before we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barca! Barca! On Wednesday night, Barcelona suffered their biggest disappointment of the season so far by succumbing to a 3-3 draw against Inter Milan, considering Barca put their long-term future at risk by prioritizing short-term success by activating several economic levers to fund their summer business. A potential exit from the Champions League is a hammer blow to the club. However, it has been revealed that Xavi has been encouraging towards players after the game to forget about it. As per a report by Sport, the Barca boss met his players before training on Thursday, that is today, to analyze his side's display in the disappointing draw. However, the club legend tried to encourage the group and inform them about how he was satisfied with how the team performed in the first half, as they had implemented the tactical instructions to a T. This is not to suggest that Xavi was positive throughout his discussion with the players, as he did reproach his players for the two individual errors that led to Nicolo Barella and Lautaro Martinez goals. The legendary midfielder emphasized the lesson that making such avoidable errors in games is bound to cost them in this Champions League. Xavi also told his side to maintain the excellent levels they have showcased in La Liga, in particular, as his message to his players is to go all in to win the Spanish top flight title this term, saying something along the lines of "let's go for La Liga." The 42-year-old manager also reminded his side of the incredible 4-0 win against Real Madrid and how they must replicate the same standards in the upcoming El Clasico on Sunday. Xavi's message to his players was also to maintain their foothold in the La Liga title race till the World Cup, while leaving behind their disappointment in Europe. As I've been saying earlier, the game have already been played, and it's true that we can't do anything about the results. We are on the brink. We are on the brink of disqualifying, and it's hard to take for any Barca fan. We need a miracle. We just need a miracle, because Inter need to drop points in both the Bayern and the Victoria Pleasant game for us to stand any chance, if and only if we win our next two games, that is against Bayern and against Victoria Pleasant, before we can stand a chance of qualifying, which means we are solely going to be depending on the results from Inter Milan games. So I don't think we can even just start hoping on that, because I think Inter Milan will be far better than Victoria Pleasant, which means if they win Victoria Pleasant, that's all for us. So it's just to keep our fingers crossed to see how it's going to look like, but not even putting our hopes there. Of course, majority of fans have already considered Barca out of the Champions League. Barcelona themselves, from Xavi to the players, they already see it as a reality that they are relegated to the Europa League this season once more, after what happened last season. So it's difficult to take. It's difficult. So Xavi, earlier today in the training session, had to encourage the players. Of course, telling them the honest truth that he was amazed with the first half performance by the team, but second half was terrible because a lot of defensive mistakes and we were not concentrating. Barca we lost our concentration overall, especially from the back line. Piqué, Busquets were so poor in that game, but Xavi also needs to be self-critical because his lineup was a mess. Why not give Frankie de Jong a chance, Frankie as well, to start games? Because I think this Xavi just have his one lineup, especially in midfield. All the big games is always his three Spanish guys. For me, it's not all about that. But I think Frankie de Jong could have been better to start that game yesterday. But manager Xavi, since he already have it in his head that no, you trust only Busquets, Xavi, Pedri, For me, that's nonsense. And I think he needs to be self-critical. And I think Xavi needs to learn. He needs to learn from the past. He needs to accept that he is wrong and needs to learn and correct things when necessary. So it is interesting to see that the manager spoke to the players about yesterday's game, trying to encourage them and told them that, guys, let's go for La Liga. Let's go for La Liga. Of course, we need to go for La Liga. We are topping the table currently, and from the way we are playing, if we don't take time, Barca will lose that La Liga again, because I don't know. I don't just know, except we need to concentrate. And I hope that the disappointing result yesterday will not affect us in our game against Real Madrid in the Clasico on Sunday, because that game, if we lose against Real Madrid, it's going to be hell. Like, I don't think Barca will ever cross again to top the table, except that we take, I don't know. But we need to go on Sunday to prove to the world that we are still capable of beating big teams. And I think that's the real opportunity for us to play when we meet Real Madrid, to play our very best to win. Then on to the next story of discussion. A recent report from The Athletic has offered detailed insights into FC Barcelona's financial mess and the troubled years that lie ahead in the aftermath of their recent 3-3 draw, or let me say defeats, with Inter Milan, not even a draw. A result that more or less confirmed their elimination from the group stages of the UEFA Champions League. Why Barcelona's summer was all about economic levers and comments from the board members that the club are financially stable once again. The club's shocking performance in the Champions League serves as an indicator of the grim years that it is to come. Such was hinted during the AGM, that is the annual general meeting last week, with the club's financial vice president Edward Romeo admitting that the club would have lost 106 million euros without the income from the levers. This year the loss would be around 210 million euros. It was a reminder of who the club are, punching above its weight, at least from a financial perspective. Indeed, Barcelona spent 518 million euros on wages and amortized transfers last season. This time around, the value has increased to 656 million euros, following the addition of Robert Lewandowski, Rafinha and Jules Koundé, among many others. A key part of Barcelona's problem when it comes to their inflated salary expenses is that the club are overpaying for a slew of veteran stars of the past who have not added any value to this team whatsoever this season. The likes of Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, Marc-Andre ter Stegen cost the club more than 40 million euros a year through salaries alone. But among them, only ter Stegen has been a real value thanks to his brilliant start to the campaign. As for Gerard Piqué and Busquets, their liability was exposed during the game yesterday against Inter. Performances was that would lead Xavi to even be sacked, to look for alternatives within the team ahead of the upcoming Clasico. In addition to inflated salaries, Barcelona owe through unpaid transfer fees and deferred salaries for many players who have already left the club. The list includes Philippe Coutinho, Pjanic, Neto Moreira. According to the accounts published last week, the total of 108 million euros of due of these players are to be paid during the 2022-23 season, that is this season. On the flip side of things, though, Barca have been able to increase its income through commercials and sponsorships to a figure of 369 million euros, up from last year's 267 million euros. The club have also registered a 19% increase in spectators at Camp Nou compared to last season. However, these small victories are offset by the losses incurred by the club in light of their unlikely elimination from the Champions League, which could see Barcelona miss out on 20 million euros at the very least. The Blaugrana had prepared the budget of 2022-23 season with progression onto the quarterfinals of the competition as the objective, and winning the Europa League, of course, will not even recover those losses. In addition, Barca are also due to pay 25% of their income to Sixth Street from this season onwards, meaning a figure of around 41 million euros. The club have other liabilities as well, including Espai Barca project that will see Barcelona repay 1.5 billion euros in 25 years once the new stadium is completed. As part of the installments, Barcelona will pay. They have to pay 50 million euros next season, and with Camp Nou under construction, the team will have to play in the much smaller Estadi Montjuic, which has a capacity of around 55,000. So things certainly look great for the Blaugrana on the financial front. However, all is not lost for Barcelona just yet. Despite their unlikely elimination from this Champions League, they remain one of the top contenders to reclaim the league title this season, and a win against Real Madrid on Sunday could go a long way in reasserting the belief among the troops as they look to perform well during the remainder of the campaign. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.